Good morning and welcome to this session of the live revisionary virtual classes conducted by the Board of Studies of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So today, we are going to discuss is something nearer to us as chartered accountants or potential chartered accountants. Today, we are going to take up the provisions of the Companies Act relating to accounts of companies. So this is contained in Chapter 9 of the Companies Act, and there is a corresponding set of rules also for this. The Companies Accounts Rules 2014, right? Again, a quick topic overview as what we will be seeing in this topic. Looking at it, we'll have types of accounts to be maintained. There are some rules prescribed in the law as to how companies have to maintain accounts. So books of account, relevant books and papers. Also define financial statement, which is very important. Whether you are going to be in service or in practice, this document becomes a point of contact where you as the CFO have to take effort to ensure that it is all ready, because the board will entrust this job to you. You may in turn, of course, have a delegated team of people who are doing it, but it's still the final responsibility will be yours to sort of bring it in and, of course, get it audited. So the auditor also, the practicing member also has an important stake in ensuring that the financial statement reveal a true and fair view. We will also be seeing related topics like reopening and recasting of accounts. Okay, not a recent addition, but definitely a new concept when compared to the 1956 law. We did not have such a provision in the 1956 law, reopening and recasting of accounts. Similarly, voluntary revision, where a company wants to revise the accounts. NFRA, National Financial Reporting Authority. We will be seeing that as to what is NFRA. Then the details regarding audit reports and board reports. Then possibly a very important topic from exam point of view, though the content is vast, exam concentration will be only in 2 or 3 areas, which I will tell you. There is corporate social responsibility, CSR. We'll go through that. Right of members in filing of financial. Finally, compulsory internal audit is there. Just before we start, there is a query pad, which is in the portal. I suppose you are aware of it still. So if you have any queries, questions, kindly post it in the query pad. Preferably, because this is parallelly in front of me. Whereas if you're going to put it in chat, I may not see it. A. B. It will be difficult for me to every time go there, open, see, reply. And you might think I'm not replying. So if you put it in the query pad, see, already we have Mr. Arjun Manu Santosh has put a good morning message here. So others can also quickly see if you're able to send messages to this query pad, which I will be seeing continuously. Well, maybe after 2 or 3 slides, I will look there. If any important query has come, I will immediately take it up and answer it. Though, given the nature of this topic and given the nature of my audience, you who are all already experts in auditing and finance, I really do not see any major confusion here. More of revision. We will quickly go through the topic, stressing on important areas from exam point of view, etc., etc. If you have any queries relating to this topic, kindly raise it. I will answer your questions. Sometimes people say, I will do my best. And sometimes I tell them, your best may not be enough. So that is what I prescribe to others. Therefore, I put a tougher target on me. So I cannot say I will do my best to answer. I will have to answer the question. If I don't know the question, shame on answer, shame on me. If I continue not to know the answer, further shame on me. So I will at least refer and bring and send you the answer as quickly as possible. Sometimes what happens in law is an interpretative subject. Law is a subject subject to interpretation. I'm sure you are aware of what is interpretation. Meaning you have to analyze section and conclude what is the real meaning of the section, etc. For which you may have to rely on case laws and all that. That being the case, it's quite natural that there are some issues in this. In fact, I'm teaching the insolvency and bankruptcy code to the company secretary students in the final company secretaries. They have a whole paper about easily 14 lessons on insolvency and liquidation. So you have to take a lot of interpretations there, a lot of confusion. IBC itself is somewhere confusing. Further interpretations of Supreme Court are there. Supreme Court has given views. Absolutely not in the law. They have said you can do this. So that becomes slightly more complicated. Still very interesting. And coming to the topic for today, books of account to be kept by company, section 128. Okay. Section 128. Every company shall prepare books of account and other books and papers and financial statement for every financial year. Okay. So it makes compulsory to have books of account. A non-corporate entity, unless it comes under the relevant provisions of the 44AB of the or other relevant provisions of the Income Tax Act, it will not have to maintain books of account. Okay. But the company cannot say that. You will have to maintain books of account and other relevant books and papers and financial statement for every financial year, right? I'm so sorry. Purpose of maintaining books of account is to explain the transactions affected by the company in an accurate and systematic manner. The company, if you see a functioning company, will have so many transactions. So these transactions have to be captured, recorded, analyzed, and presented. That is the job. The beauty of it is this particular job is no longer our prerogative. It's no longer ours. If any chartered accountant says, I'm doing bookkeeping, even in those days, there was a marked distinction between accounting and bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is just record keeping. Accounting was slightly higher. So most of us today we are at accounting or financial reporting. So we have gone to that level. We no longer handle day-to-day accounting. We are not responsible. It's either done by a team of people who do it, ideally by using electronic means, or we have a real-time or automated ERP system or a real-time system, or maybe I shouldn't use the word real-time, but an automated system that captures the data continuously without any human intervention and stores it. Thereafter, we write programs to read the data, to present it, to bring it into the financial books. Then we approach it at that level. Okay, and then we start doing financial reporting. So our role comes very, very, very higher up the hierarchy, up the ladder. But the Companies Act talks about right from capturing data onwards. Of course, as a CFO, it is your duty to ensure that the system is in place. If the data capturing mechanism is not in place, you will have nothing with which to prepare financial reports and statements. So the substratum has to be, or the foundation has to be laid by you. Once the foundation is laid, the product is what you're going to use. The process, but you need to put in place and ensure that it is working regularly and neatly. I'm talking about large organizations. Above 1,000 crore organizations need a battalion of people and systems to do it. Even a 100 crore organization 100 to 500 or 100 to 1000. Okay. Need complicated systems. Minus 100, slightly your complexities will come down. 100 and above, even you'll have to have some mechanism. Very important. Such books shall be kept on accrual basis. Because there are two types of counting, as you know, accrual and cash. So now compulsorily companies need to maintain on accrual basis. If I even presume to instruct this group on what is accrual, I think I'll be doing a great injustice to you. Suffice it to say that all expenses need to be accounted, whether paid for or not. All income needs to be accounted, whether actually received or suffice it to say. Accrual basis. Many times, certain other professionals, let me not name them, they come out with beautiful suggestions. Then they have to be brought down to the harsh reality of existence by saying, if you do that, then you're not violating accrual basis. Sometimes they will coolly talk about pushing sales, pushing expenses, etc. Matching concept. What happens to matching concept? So accrual basis at its base is matching concept. Because of matching concept only accrual basis. Okay. Otherwise, as and when I pay, I have to it. Why am I pulling an expense which I have not paid into this year? Because the income for that year, this year, it has to be matched with the income for this year. So it is matching concept that's forcing me. Accrual is only a method of ensuring matching concept. It is matching concept. And for example, providing for depreciation. Again, is matching concept. When the benefit from the asset is going to be spread over more than 1 year, you need to spread the cost of the asset over that period. That's all. Sometimes, even our own professionals, they make a big esoteric mystery about depreciation as if it is something extraordinary that nobody can understand. Depreciation, blah, blah, blah. What is there to understand in depreciation? Yeah, you buy an asset, 5 crore, right? But you take it directly to P&L. Who's preventing you? If you do that, what will happen? Of course, your profit will be understated, etc. Blah, blah, blah. More importantly, you'll be violating matching concept. Because that value has benefit over a longer period. How long? Over the useful life of the asset. So what should I do? Even an ordinary country bumpkin like me can tell you, divide the cost of the asset by the useful life and charge that amount every year. That is all. I mean, I'm not oversimplifying. I am saying don't overcomplicate. Okay. Once you start there, yes, there are some small issues. How to depreciate for depreciation for mines, depletion. Right? These are all corollaries. The concept is simple. What is the cost? What is the thing? So you will find that every basic accounting issue finally comes to matching concept. Inventory valuation, again matching concept. Why? Because this year's stock, okay, if you account it here, it will be wrong. So it should be matched with the subsequent sale of it. So it is pushed out as closing stock. If I push it out here, Baba, it will come in there as opening stock. This is not rocket science. This is simple logic. If I push out here, it will come there. The way inventory valuation is done, as if it is something extraordinary, like that. Okay, we can keep the layman a little confused. But between us, we should not play that game. Of course, the engineers and the marketing guys always need to be kept in a confusion. We should never reveal everything to them. That is prudent professional practice. Don't ever teach these guys. I do. I have conducted more than 1,000 finance for non-finance workshops for engineers. But I teach them logic. But I don't. Some of the esoteric secrets are still kept with us. But between us, we shouldn't bullshit. Between us, we should not act as if it is something great, as if this, that, and all. However you complicate it, I can break it with Occam's razor and bring it down to bare essentials. And that's it. Okay. This is my humble view. Don't overcomplicate your life, your basic subjects and all. That way, if you go with the razor, Occam's razor, as we call it, you keep on taking away, you'll find clearly the subject is visible to you. Exam is clear. You'll be able to prepare well and write. It is only when we confuse and complicate that the exam becomes confusing and complicated. This rule can be applied in everything in life. according to double entry system of accounting. Finally, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs woke up and realized that there is something called double entry system of accounting. This has been existing since Luca Pacioli invented it in Venice, Venetian system. Though, of course, it was more practiced by the Florentian bankers. The Florentian bankers, the Medicis. In fact, this system was invented by Luca Pacioli for the Medicis. The Medici was a very big banking family in Florence. And the monks, the Catholic monks had knowledge. They were the only people, just like we had a whole group. In India also, we had one group of people only who can study, others cannot. Like that, there only the monks could study. Nobody else could be literate. So these monks used to, be the accountants. And one of these guys was this Luca Pacioli, who designed the system that today the world over we call double entry. See, one thing, double entry system and accounting, accrual basis, wherever you go, whichever geography, whatever language, if you are a Japanese also, accrual basis, double entry system. If you are in Indian also, accrual basis, double entry system. This is the language of accounting. And it is common across the universe, not only the world, not only the known world as we know it. Wherever you go in the universe, Mars, Moon, the three rules of double entry will not change. Accrual basis will not change. Double entry system is the best system. Though double entry system, the rules of double entry system are not natural laws. They are not natural laws, but they are laws of convenience. Okay. Books of account includes, they give a definition. Friends, we also notice one more thing, which is the spelling of books of account. You don't say books of accounts. You don't say mothers-in-laws. You say mothers-in-law. You say sons-in-law. Am I correct? So like that, this is books of account. Books are plural. Subject is books. Books. So you may have a single book of account or you may have a plural books of account. Though this rule is violated even in the Companies Act. Here, luckily, the lawmaker was aware of the grammatical rule and he followed it. And you have books of account. Includes records maintained in respect of all sums of money received and expended. Expended means spent. That's all. It's another very fancy way of saying spent. Okay. Money received and spent by a company. And of course, if you say spent, why not? Because everything that goes out is an expenditure and a amount which is spent by a company and matters in relation to which receipts and expenditure takes place. So the records have to be maintained completely. Okay. You can't just like that write given like that. You have to say given for what? Who justified it? What was after? So as the company becomes more and more complicated, every expense needs to be authorized. Either there is a blanket permission or there should be a special permission. Either whichever level, whichever authority is to approve it has to approve it. So all this becomes control systems, which will be relevant to you in auditing. If I am the owner running the business, all this is nothing for me. I have a diary where I note given, received. Finally, total, this is my profit. Whatever nonsense he wants, he can do. But once you come to corporate form of organization, we need accountability. We need documentation. Everything needs to be supported by decisions taken by the appropriate authority. All that together becomes the books of account. Okay. All sales and purchases of goods and services, assets and liabilities, items of cost as may be prescribed. See, this last line item, you will read it when you read chapter 10. There you will learn about cost audits, maintenance of cost records. Okay. So certain prescribed companies whose turnover is a certain level and above, or capital is a certain level and above, have to maintain cost records and also cost audit. So book and paper and book or paper include books of account, deeds, vouchers, writings, documents, minutes, etc. Very importantly, this could be maintained on paper or in electronic form. So the term book and or paper has wider impact. So book and paper includes books of account. Everything, deeds, vouchers, complete. Books and book and paper or books. Book and paper. I don't know why they use the word singular here. It can be books and papers. Because here, this is a conjunction. You cannot say books and paper. So books and papers. And is only a conjunction here. It is not a preposition. It's a conjunction. Whereas in books of account, of is a preposition. Therefore, the subject is only books. The account is only describing the nature of the books. Books of account shall be prepared and kept at the registered office. Very, very important. Couple of times they have asked questions in this area. Please note it, Your Honors. Books of account shall be prepared and kept at the registered office of the company. At the registered office, strict. Kyonki, there could be multiple offices for large entities. You could have a company that has the corporate office at Mumbai. Not necessary that is a registered office. The registered office should be, the registered office is the address mentioned within 30 days and reported to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. You might have studied it when you studied incorporation. Once the company is incorporated, within 30 days, you should give an address, details of the address of the INC 8 or 8, I don't know, some form you have to file. And that has to be filed with the Ministry of, uploaded the Ministry portal. That is the registered office of the company. This is very important. I'm sure that was stressed by the person who taught you. Now, if you want to send a legal notice to the company, binding legal notice, which you have to send it only to the registered office. If you sending n number of copies to n number of offices, chalo, that one statutory notice should be sent only to registered office. Similarly, the books of account are to be maintained in the registered office. For example, a company may have its corporate office in Mumbai, but it may have its registered office at the factory, which is in the outskirts of Indore, Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so that is the registered office. Then you have to maintain books there. But sometimes it may not be possible. See how it could have happened. The company would have been founded in Indore. Okay, by one generation. Then the second generation worked hard. They have set up factory, one in Tirunelveli, and one in possibly Vashi. And now that company is pretty big. So they are accessing the whole national market. They are founded in Indore. Now, after some time, the second generation, the third also comes. They operate more from Mumbai. Maybe they even move to Mumbai. Only the old family houses in Indore, where they come once in a while for functions and marriages. Rest of it, their life and style is in Mumbai. Offices in Mumbai. Everything is in Mumbai. In which case, it may even make sense to move the registered office. Or sentimentally, they feel, never we will move the registered office. Our grandfather founded it in this place, it can never be changed. Chalo, let it not be changed. Books of account, how I can maintain in Indore? I won't get sufficiently, people. Yes, there are excellent, highly intelligent people in Indore and Madhya Pradesh, but not enough. Whereas in Mumbai, I'll be able to attract talent. So what should I do? Then you can keep the books of account in such other place in India as the board of directors may decide. So we have to pass a resolution, board resolution, wherein we decide to maintain the books of account at a place other than the registered office in Indore. I'm giving an example to help you fix the concept in your mind. Exam also, they will ask you questions like this only. Such a company have registered office. Now they want to shift books of account. Okay, go. Sometimes it may be if they shift the registered office, no problem. Books of account can be maintained there. But only books of account if you want, move. As the board of directors may decide. In such case, company shall within 7 days thereof file with the registrar a notice in writing giving the full address of that other place. Why? Because later on when you come to final, you will find that ROC has the power to search and seize. Enter, search and seize. So every premises where books of account are maintained, he has the right to come, look at the books, seize, search, entry, search and seizure powers are there. When you come to final, you will read this. And when fraud investigation happens, investigation is happening. It's a different story. Books of account of a branch may be kept at that office, branch office. Branch could be in India or branch could be abroad, wherever it could be kept in that office. Only summarized returns of the branch accounts should be sent periodically to the company. Like when you come to branch audit, in audit, you will again see. You can have a different person as a branch auditor, local guy, who in turn will report not to the board or to the members, but to the statutory auditor. The branch auditor's report will be presented only to the statutory auditor. Thereafter, it is the statutory auditor who takes the ultimate responsibility whether to include or not. But he has to confirm whether he has included all the points raised in the relevant and material points raised in the branch audit report. Maintenance of books of account in electronic mode. So, great achievement. See, the law, by the time the law keeps pace with life, it is too late. Because many of us were maintaining books of account in electronic form long before the amendment to the 19... See, this was an amendment to the 1956 Act. If I remember right, it came sometime in 1999 or 2000 it came. Thereafter, the new law, automatically it jumped here. So, by then, we were maintaining in electronic form. It is not as if we were waiting for the ministry to tell us and then go. For convenience, we're doing, which meant for all official purposes, whenever we have to talk to a government man, we have to print out everything and take it to him. So they cannot read it. But now, Government Act says books of account and other relevant papers may be kept in electronic means. Okay. May. This is a choice, of course. There might be a few companies, maybe a small minority of companies that still maintain books of account in paper form, in document form. I doubt. I have never seen 600 files. Easily about 200 of them are more than 100. I mean, more than 100, about 20 are above 1,000. Then they have a whole lot of them between 5 crores to 50 crores. Like the countries. What I'm trying to say is less than 2 crores also we have. Even those guys maintain books in electronic form. Individuals, of course, that's a different story. Less than 2 crores clients are there. 2 crore, 3 crore, they'll just come. They also bring some kind of a software accounts, Tally, something they bring, some quick books, some other, all sorts of software are there. We don't care. For me, you give whichever software, I got a version, I will load it, down it, see it, audit it. I won't print it. Audit it, ask you the relevant questions, form my opinion, sign, take the fees, run. That's all. Okay. So my job over, but it's in electronic form. Okay. Rarely you'll find in metal. Now the government, see, even assuming everything, nowadays, the income tax department also, those people have been taught. So now they are willing to take your software. But ideally, they want it in Tally because all of them know Tally very well. But if you are maintaining an ERP gun, sometimes they go and tell them, sir, ours is an ERP. Okay, you put it in pendrive and give. Sir, it cannot be put in pendrive, sir. Even in terabyte, it cannot be put, sir. Like that. No. How can you say that? Completely. I'm now passing an order. Sir, deliver it. Okay, sir. I'll take 5 or 6 terabytes it will take. We'll bring it, give it to you. What is this like that? He said, sir, this is the books of account of my company. So it's a 1,000 crore company, sir. You want to see the books of account? Here is the books of account. No, can I view it? Yes, sir, you can view it. Go and see any ledger account. It is there. No, it is all too difficult. What to do? Sir, what to do, sir? You only wanted books of account. Give me books of account. Like that. I'm just joking. See, sometimes I tell them, boss, don't do this. Do a test check. Tell me what you want. Where is your suspicion? Go there. I'll give you all the proofs, vouchers. Don't believe me. That area you ask for original proof, I'll give you. Whatever you are entitled to ask, I'm bound to give. But some logic should prevail in what we are doing here. Like that. So, in fact, I have practiced when books were maintained in paper form also. 1980s. I started in 91, but I was doing articles right up 85 onwards. 85 to 86, 85 to 87 articles. Then 84 to 87 articles, then working for some time and then only. So I have seen everything manual. I have written manual books. So sometimes in the same income tax cases, they'll say, I want to see books and papers. You are a chartered accountant. You are a fraud. Okay, sir, what do you want? Produce all the books. Okay, sir. About 15 ledgers will be there. Journals will be there. 3 big ledgers will be there. Everything will keep it on the table. That was my tactic. Then says that you want to see the books, see the books. Okay. No, you keep it here and go. I will go through it thoroughly. You are doing some fraud. Sir, please go through. Then vouchers also are there. Please go through. 1 week later, we go, sir, what is there? Any state? No. I'm still seeing. Till the very end, time barring time, he'll take. Then, about 5 days before time barring, he'll call. Shrikant, how to see, what to do? That's said, you only wanted to see, I gave you like that. I mean, sorry to give you this example again and again. Sometimes some techniques, only this cannot be taught to you in the institute material. This can be taught only by a senior to a junior. Okay. So that like that, this knowledge goes on and on from generation to generation. Just keep in your mind somewhere. Dump him with more data. The chances are he will come back to you and ask you what you want. You can then direct where you want him to go. Okay. The books of account and other relevant books. In fact, the client will be worried, sir, why are you giving all the papers? Sir, what is there? Everything? Let him go and see that thing in that paper. We know where it is. It is not in that paper. Okay. So the books of account and other papers are maintained in electronic form, shall remain accessible in India so as to be usable for subsequent reference. God only knows what these gentlemen are trying to go. But basically, we work with thin clients. We put everything in the cloud. So wherever I am, I have access, user ID, password. Just go there and access, which is one of the reasons why during COVID, auditing profession did not suffer much. At least those of us who are IT savvy, those of us whose teams were clear about network job working, who did not need a physical office to work. In fact, you really don't need a physical office to work nowadays. So most of the time you are accessing the net, which is common everywhere. So work from home is actually easier for us, except for meeting with clients and sometimes physical verification, etc. Other than that, sometimes all of us want to work on a desk. But other than that, easily we can work from remote locations because wherever it is, it will be accessible. And all you need is a user ID. But see, almost all clients we take view access. That's it. I don't even come. I don't even want to come to your office. Finally, I'll come only for 2 or 3 days, 5 days, so that I can see your actual working and factory visit. And I think that's all. Other than that, non-contact is how things are going now. Post-COVID, new normal is non-contact and everything online. Any desk also we can use and go there, whatever. Subject to very, very important concept because I'm also a certified information systems auditor, CISA. So we have to be worried about IT security. That is something which is perimeter security, firewall. How powerful is this? Physical security, logical access security. That is more important now because everything is accessible from anywhere. You have to be very careful. Be retained completely in the format. This is a beautiful paragraph. I enjoy reading it. Be retained completely in the format in which they were originally generated, sent or received, or in a format which shall present accurately the information generated, sent or received, and the information contained in the electronic records shall remain complete and unaltered. See, they are worried about tampering of the data. So that is why today they have insisted on audit trail. Very, very important. For the financial years commencing on or after the first day of April 23. Okay, but then they extended it because of COVID. They extended one more year. But from 24 onwards, every company which uses accounting software for maintaining its books of account shall use only such accounting software which has a feature of recording audit trail. Audit trail is basically an ability for me to go and see whether any transaction has been tampered with or edited or deleted. Even the deleted data will go, but the deletion will be known. Who deleted, I will know through the user ID password. So that log should be available for my audit. So creating an edit log of each change made in the books of account, along with the date when such changes were made. That would only give me a change. Who did it? See, I have audited and gone. Then you come and delete one record and go. I can know who did it. That person's user ID will become a target. And that audit trail should not be capable of being disabled, cannot be disabled. Because SysAd will have a lot of overriding controls. But even that systems administrator should not be able to disable audit trail. I verify all this for my assessee, for my clients. I verify. It is one of the audit program issues. Because if this is not established, then my entire audit is foolishness. Because one side I'll be auditing, another side will be changing. Yeah. Somewhere you have to freeze and say, hey, this is it. Commit yourself to this. Then give me the access. I go and audit. While I am auditing, if you're going to keep changing, sorry. During that period, no entry without my knowledge. If you're going to make any entries, tell me what it is. Batch by batch, we'll make entries. So first cut, up to 15 cuts will go. But I should know what you're doing after I have started. Means I here is a collective now, my team. The information received from branch offices shall not be altered and shall be kept in a manner where it shall depict what was originally received from the branches. The information in the electronic record of the document shall be capable of being displayed in a legible form. See, our friends are still worried about paper. Okay. They want to be, they are not comfortable about electronic records. They want everything on paper. Kagas mein it is there, then only it is pakka. Otherwise, was so still with so much digitalization around us, we still love to accumulate paper and keep it. The audit committee or the board shall ensure that there is a proper system for storage, retrieval, display, or printout of the electronic records. See, 10 to 12 years down the line, we find even digital data storage is becoming a problem. So we are also deleting that data which is old. Why do we store it? For what purpose? We need that memory space. We keep deleting it. Okay. Why accumulate even digital data which is occupying valuable space which can be used by current data? So somewhere you have to clearly come out with when that we'll talk about it. How long you have to maintain the accounts. The audit committee or the board shall ensure that there is a proper system of storage, retrieval, display, blah, 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 or print out. Wow. Last week, print out of the electronic records. These guys love printouts. Even if you say, sir, it's all digitally available, you can go and have a look. Print out page, send it, go. Such records shall not be disposed of or rendered unusable unless permitted by law. So that's what I can't indiscriminately delete data. I should. There's a rule. We'll see that. Backup of all data. You may want to remember that period, because sometimes they ask you that as a question. Backup of all data, including data at foreign location, to be kept on servers physically located. Sir, seriously, I don't understand this. Anyway, we salute them and say, sir, it is in foreign location. So why I will keep it on a server physically located? Backup. Anyway, I'm using AWS. Again, one more backup here. The whole point of going to AWS was to avoid storage here. One more location. Agreed. I can have a mirror backup somewhere. Mirror backup can be kept in India. Physical. That is, yeah, we do keep that. You see, many of my clients, they have storage in US. No doubt about it. But mirrored backup will be there. My only view is mirrored backup should not be in the same location, but it should be in India. Check it out. If you want to have it as an alternative, so that it also becomes a kind of disaster recovery plan. No doubt about it. It is necessary. As part of DRP process, we need a mirrored for highly sensitive, shall we say, business sensitive data. Because when we talk about business continuity planning, it is a nanosecond. 1 second, I need to come back to business. Otherwise, huge volume is coming online. I can't just like that go off. The system cannot fail, which is why there will be a redundancy server readily waiting. In case this fellow is not, suddenly some problem, that will come in. Okay. That nanosecond difference is what I can afford. At maximum 3 seconds, 4 seconds, we can put sorry, we are unable to handle your query just now, tomorrow. You can go tomorrow. It has to be done within the next 5 minutes. Otherwise, the customer will simply move to somebody else. He won't buy from you. Okay. So, some of these issues I'm raising are broader IS issues, information security issues, but may be relevant in today's world where there is a complete, there is a gray area there now. Law, accounts, and auditing are now merging into this bus, this fuzzy area, which is where information security is there. Where an information security evaluator needs to sit in the middle there. He has to know what the law is. He has to know how the accounts are currently being maintained, what the limitations. You also should know what would be the technology and what would be the exposure that this fellow is. The company should intimate with regard to electronic records, the name of the service provider, the internet protocol address, the location. The same logic. Tomorrow, if I want to see, if I want to seize, I can seize that. I can send a message to the IP based on the IP to the owner of the database or the data warehouse and take over from it. And I can go there, freeze it. Idea is to prevent the company from going and deleting the data or falsifying. See, all this you will understand when you come to investigation. Okay. And many of the provisions in accounts and audit, which we are going to see, are a knee-jerk reaction to the famous Satyam collapse. So the Companies Act pre-Satyam, Companies Act post-Satyam. Similarly, SEBI and listing agreement with the SEBI and listing agreement with the stock exchanges, pre-Enron, post-Enron. You'll see a clear distinction. Pre-Enron and post-Enron, the way SEBI and stock exchanges will react, especially NSE will react to things, would be totally different. Okay. Similarly, Companies Act, pre-Satyam, post-Satyam. What you are now studying is the post-Satyam impact, the Satyam impact, post-Satyam impact accounts, the law. In accounts, you'll see a few knee-jerk. In auditing, you'll see a whole lot of knee-jerks where they do everything possible to ensure that no auditor from no one can ever commit a collusive fraud in collusion with the client. Never. Like that they will try, but still I don't know. Somewhere, within that, there are people who will squeeze in and go. Where the books of account and other books and papers are maintained on cloud, such address as provided by the service provider. Fantastic. So these guys know technical terms like cloud and all. Wow. So the books of account of a company maintained, this is inspection of books. Again, very important. Now, my dear friends, can a shareholder inspect the books of account? It's a rhetorical question. I don't know if you can answer it. Anybody, would you like to answer? I am a shareholder. Okay. Can I walk into the company's registered office and demand to inspect the books of account? Maybe you can, one or two of you can just respond in the query pad, just to confirm to me that there are people listening to me. Because the topic being so boring, some of you might already have gone to sleep or gone out. Can a shareholder inspect books of account? Anyway, keep answering. In the meantime, let's look at it. The books of account of a company maintained in India shall be open for inspection by a director. See, directors are responsible collectively for the day-to-day management of the company. Some among them will become whole-time directors and owner directors, they will run. But other directors also have a equal responsibility, including an independent director. So they are entitled to inspect the books of account, not the financial statement. Financial statement, even I am a shareholder, I am entitled to see it. Books of account, the raw books, the actual records can go. Where financial information is outside India, copies of the same shall be maintained and produced. If somebody is asking for Singapore branch, it's not available in India, then copies should be what? The director can do inspection only during business hours at the registered place or such other place where the books of account are maintained. In case they are not maintained in the registered office, then wherever the books are maintained, he has to go. It cannot be brought to him, obviously. See, for large companies, no director will go and demand. Only for medium enterprises, where there are two directors, brothers or friends, then there is a fallout between them. Then only this power will be invoked by the director. He will say, I want to see the books of account. I want to see what they are doing. To whom you are issuing checks. I want to see. He can. He has every right to see. As a director, as a shareholder, I'm not yet getting any replies. Maybe you are all thinking, such a silly question, we will not answer. What nonsense. We will not answer such questions. Get out. Agreed. Can a shareholder make an inspection? What a stupid question you are asking. Any shareholder is entitled to make an inspection. After all, I'm a member of the company. It is my inalienable right to come to the register office and demand, and it is the duty of the company to provide the books of account. Is that a correct argument? Where an inspection is made by a director, as above said, the officers and other employees of the company shall give to the person making such inspection all assistance in connection with the inspection which the company may reasonably be expected to give. Reasonably. Okay. That is, fair request can be given. Okay. Inspection in respect of any subsidiary of the company shall be done only by the person authorized in this behalf by a resolution of the board of directors. I'll put it differently. H Limited is the holding company of S Limited. Mr. Yum is a director of H Limited. Mr. Yum is a director of H Limited. He approaches the company secretary of S Limited. He approaches the company secretary of S Limited. Oh, sorry, not the company secretary. The CFO of S Limited. And he says, I want to see your books. You are our subsidiary. I want to see your books. The CFO says, sorry, sir, I can't give. Why? Is he correct? Yes, because, but you should be polite and say, sir, kindly give me a proof that you are authorized by the board. Just to show, give me the board resolution, copy, or ask your company secretary to send it to our company secretary. We will examine it. Once you are authorized, then absolutely no problem. Please come and have a look. But without the authorization, sorry, we cannot permit you to inspect the books. Small point. But be a little careful. When a director seeks financial information kept outside India, he shall make a specific written request. Should be in writing. The request for such financial information shall be made by the director himself and not by or through his attorney, power of attorney holder or agent or representative. See, the director may have his brother here to whom he has given power of attorney. Such a power of attorney holder cannot, or an agent cannot demand. The director himself should send a written request. Such financial information shall be provided within 15 days of receipt of written request. This was a question asked in the examination, 3 marks. See, if I'm writing theory paper, or any paper for that matter, I love these 3 mark, 2 mark questions. 3, 2, or when the question is divided into, say it's a 5 mark question, divided into 2, 2, 1. I'm happy because when the 2 mark question is correct, no, the chances are you'll get 2. Whereas suppose they ask you to write a longer answer with 5 marks, then even if you give your life and soul and write an answer, that Conjus cannot give you more than 4. Or if you are handwriting and writing some nonsense, then 3, 4, 5. Whereas here I can get 2. So if you get 2, say 1.5 and 1, or that's it, 4.5. Straight away. Sometimes ideally 5, because after all it's a single point. Let us see this question, 3 marks. One of the directors of Suryodaya Pharma has sent request for inspection of the books of account of the company. The CFO of the company refuses to provide access to the said books on the grounds that director will be provided with a quarterly summary of financial position at the board meeting. So sometimes, these CFOs can be very, I'm sorry to use the word, arrogant. I only pray that once you group of people qualify, you will not become like that. You should maintain affability and courtesy, friendliness with the senior member. Even though he is the auditor, he is practicing, even though he is a director, he is a senior in age, in experience, etc. So even though he may be wrong, especially when the elderly or senior people are wrong, the way you tell them should be so nice that, see, if you prove that senior is wrong, you will win that argument. You will get a cheap victory over that senior person in that argument. And you will even maybe score with the board or MD that this fellow was able to, even they may feel a little hurt, because after all, that is the auditor. After all, that is the director of the company. He is not some outsider. So agreed, he is wrong. The way you tell. So don't go there. Be affable and polite. Even if you want to say you are wrong, say politely. Sir, I totally appreciate what you're saying. But in this case, we have to find out. The CFO is not only refusing, he is clearly sending a mail. Just like that. Dear sir, after all, we are providing quarterly summary of financial position at the board meeting. Therefore, no need for giving access to the books. Bye. And that gentleman's name will be something, Nirmal Chordia. Dear Nirmal. Nirmal Chordia may be 62 years old man with all experience in business. Such a man is Dear Nirmal. Dear Nirmal. Why dear? Okay, Nirmal. Like that. So that, see, the fallout of that type of behavior is one day or the other that Nirmal Chordia will sit in the interview board. And this fellow is going for another job. Then only our CFO will understand what is the power of fighting with the senior person. Try to avoid fighting with seniors, because you never know where they will crop up again, in which situation they'll crop up again in your life. Okay? They may not crop up also, but still, don't take a risk, is all I would say. Advise the board of the company as to whether the action taken by the CFO is correct in the light of the relevant provisions. I don't know. Why are you not able to send to the message? Are you not able to send queries to the query pad? Earlier, students used to answer. When I ask a question, some students will put up answers in the query pad. Once the query pad is functioning, you can send queries. On the other hand, you are sending chats. When I clearly told you not to send a chat. Some of you are answering correctly. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. You are not able to do it, Krishnamji. Okay. I don't know. Some technical problem is there. You just see. All of you are correct. Querypad is not working. That is also, you are correct. Director can inspect. Swati says, director can. Reply. I'm not getting that query replies that you're sending. Unfortunate. Some problem with the query. But anyway. No problem. We'll use chat. What is that? Director can inspect. Beautiful. That's all. See, now the point is 3 marks. Okay. Now 3 marks. Right? For 3 marks, if you write, CFO is not right, director can't inspect the books of account. Okay, in the query pad, you're in the chat box, you're writing like this, but correct. Om Krishna Om says, Gupta says, CFO is wrong. Director can inspect the books during the business hours at registered place. Correct. So that way you have to write the answer. Suggestion, 3 marks, you have to write 4 lines. For 3 marks, not more than 4 lines. Okay. You can just write the facts. CFO of a company has refused to provide access to the books, quarterly summary. Okay. Then write this provision. Write this provision. If you can remember 128, 3 and 4, great. Otherwise also, these 3 lines have to be written clearly. Okay. Maybe the second line need not be written. This and this need to be written. Then you say, therefore, the action taken by the CFO is incorrect. Do you notice one thing? I'm using the same words as used in the question. You might ask me, is it so important? I would say strongly yes. Because the way you answer is very, very important. Believe me. The way if you see, so you write the facts, you write 2 lines about the law, then you conclude 1 line, 2 marks given. How about that 1 mark? Because see the question here asking, same stupid question that I asked. Institute has asked, but when an institute asking, it cannot be stupid. You have to get 1 mark gali because of this. Will your answer be different? That is what, like Donkey was asking, can a member make inspection? Nobody is answering. Nobody is answering. Can a member? No, member cannot make inspection. Member cannot make a inspection. Why? It is not stated anywhere. Nor is it stated. See, be very, very careful. Nowhere it is stated that member can. Whereas it is stated that director can. Therefore, unless specifically stated, the power is not there. Such a power cannot be taken by presumptions and assumptions. 1. 2. Consequence. Suppose I let the shareholder make an inspection. What will happen? Every donkey will come and want to see. Daily 15 people will be sitting in my reception, waiting to see, sir, I want to see 13th August dated sales journal entry, sir. We have to go and show. My life will become miserable. I'll have a separate, which is so. Logically, it is useless, not a good idea. Thirdly, very, very important. My shareholders need not be loyal to me. Yeah, because shareholders are just investors. They want return. It's the owner group which is interested in making the company grow. So, some of these people might have purchased shares only to know how the company is functioning. They may be corporate espionage. They may be people who are, sent to inspect, to find out what I'm doing. Such a fellow, if he is given access to books of account, everything he will know. Right? I mean, sometimes the gap is very important. Of course, a listed company will publish quarterly, but within that quarterly information, if the competitor is having now, that's something for him. It's very good information. He will know which area I am attacking. He will go there. I mean, for the right type of corporate espionage expert, any data we are able to analyze, we'll be able to make meaning out of it. Okay, big data or even medium CC, the medium big data, we can make decisions. Rough decisions. So, corporate espionage. Therefore, shareholders can never be, whereas a director is bound as a board member not to reveal. He is bound by confidential. Shareholder is not bound by confidential. So, but you don't have to give all these reasons. For 1 mark, I cannot write all this. I will say, a shareholder is not entitled to make inspection of the books of account. Therefore, my answer will be different and I will state that the CFO is correct if the request is made by a shareholder. Okay? Because the shareholders are getting quarterly summary. Wait for that. It's a valid point. Anyway, even to the shareholder, don't be rude. Okay? Be polite. Use polite language. See, just because the Americans are blunt, we need not leave our Oriental traditions. See, the Japanese and the Chinese and the Indians, we come with an Oriental tradition of politeness, humility. Okay, the Americans are basically ruffians. See, they just went to settle down in a wild country and they just made something big. The Australians too are basically convicts who went, whereas we have been taught by the British. Okay, and we have a certain culture. So just because we are employed by Americans, we need not become blunt and rude and like them. We can still retain a certain Oriental dignity and a certain Oriental way of drafting. Nothing wrong in that. It could be the uniqueness. Rather than, foolish like a slavery, we go and obey what the American masters are telling. So, calling people by first name, bluntly sending emails, sorry, not possible, like that. So sorry, sir, it's not possible to be done now. In future, we'll definitely try to help you. Bye. How much does it cost? Politeness does not cost much, but you can gain a lot. You have to take my word for it. Okay. Very nicely worded statements, even in income tax appearances. Word it properly. I have seen so many income tax submissions so rudely drafted. And those submissions were rejected and orders were passed against. Whereas my submissions will not only hammer the facts, will not only hammer the opinion, the correct view, but also be polite. So that I will put the assing officer on a pedestal and then tell him, boss, look at this. This is what the reality is. So that he'll be more conducive to look at it rather than reject it. Sorry to give you these unnecessary inputs on etiquette and thing. In the larger professional life, knowledge is not only enough. If only knowledgeable people are successful, fools like me should never become successful. How? It is going beyond knowledge. Of course, if you possess knowledge and communication skill is different. But at least communication skill to some extent can be of better benefit than possessing so much knowledge. Okay? Think about it. Knowledge is important. But communication is, see, when vak is more important. Jnana is important. But vak, when it comes out, it has to come out nicely. Okay. Mr. Aditya, you might say, Srikanth, you are wasting my time. Don't tell this. Sir, even in exam presentation, it works. Between a student who can present well and a student who does not present well, difference is 20 marks. 20 marks gap, and that could be fail or pass. So many students who come to me for counseling, I ask them to write the answer and show me. Then I make them see, here you could have written like this, here you could have written like this. Then slowly the answer structure itself changes. The knowledge is the same. The same man, knowledgeable boy, failing. Why? Because he's not presenting it correctly. So I teach them how to present. See, you are all ultimate knowledge. I fall at your feet and worship you. But finally, presentation. Okay. See, this is the message. In this revision class, I'm trying to communicate. Kindly don't take it otherwise and get angry with me. Rather, take it in the right spirit and see how you are writing the answer. Check it with the template I am talking and see whether you can go there if you want to. Maybe that could be the clincher and you will be able to clear the exam. Many students have adopted the techniques I have told and see, matter of, they will get 35, 36 marks. Suddenly they'll get 55 and pass. That 10 marks difference I can give in presentation for you. Right? You can give to yourself by examining your presentation and writing. If you are on the other end, sir, I'm already getting 65, then move higher, get into 75, 76, 80 bracket, get a rank. Go there. Everywhere you can improve. Why settle for 60 when you can go for 80 and get a rank? Okay. Especially in final level, if you are getting a rank, it will translate into an extraordinary good first job. So nothing wrong in aiming for rank, working for rank, for final especially, or even intermediate rank will translate into a very good internship position in a large multinational firm. And that could be the making of your life. So it does matter. Okay. Mr. Aditya Ram, Director of Suntech Infosystems Limited, which has an office in Seattle, USA, demands certain financial information relating to the over phone. So, over phone, no. It has to be in a written request is to be sent. See, here again, what you should do, you should write this. You should, these slides can be shared with you. I can easily, I will put it up in the portal. You can download it. I think that's what you used to do in the past. So these are simplified slides. So you write this. You don't have to big blah blah. Aditya, a foreign director, Mr. Aditya Ram, director of a company, foreign of Suntech in Seattle, USA. Mr. Aditya Ram, director of Suntech, demands information about the office in Seattle, USA. Within bracket, you can write foreign branch. Okay. Now, when a director seeks financial information, he shall make a specific written request. Okay. Then, in this instant case, the director has not made a written request. Therefore, the request is not valid. That's all. In case a written request is sent by Aditya Ram's advocate, then what you do? B. Right. A request such shall be made by the director himself and not by or through. In the instant case, the written request was sent by his advocate on his behalf. Therefore, the information need not be provided. Are you able to understand? That's it. 2 marks. Boss, don't say 2 marks. Every mark is important. Because if you're playing T20, you will understand 1 run is 1 run. Every mark is important for me. Just see, if I can hit the boundary, hit sixer. But one run is one run. I can't simply stand and say, one run, what is that, man? But one run makes difference. Yeah, one run, then one more. If I can come back to, wow, 2 runs is not bad. If I can just drive it to mid-on and then just run. Start running. Don't wait. One run is one run. Just be careful that he can't bring the ball back quickly. I mean, think about it. Okay. Prepare. The exam preparation is not about mugging up, reading. See, some people will tell, Mr. Srikanth, my daughter is studying 26 hours every day. So why is she studying 26 hours? First of all, she cannot. Only 24 hours. Why is she studying 24 hours? Then in the last day before the exam, she will become nervous wreck. Don't do that. Study for 16 hours. Maximum. Okay. Maximum. I used to study only 12 hours. 12 hours is difficult. If you are beyond the 12 hours, diminishing marginal utility. Okay. That 12 hours, pack it with learning. Pack it with learning systematically, timetable wise. Go for important questions in the exam. Work out problems. Don't simply read. Work out. Then take the correct problem. Correct it. See what your mistakes you have made. Note those mistakes in the mind. That type of preparation, 12 hours is more than enough. Believe me. I'm studying 24 hours or 18 hours. And some students will tell. They'll be very shocked and surprised. I never studied so much. So how like that? Maybe instead of getting 27th rank, maybe I would have got 12th rank or 13th rank. It's okay, no problem. Because the job offer comes to everybody. Okay, it is not as if once you get a rank, the first rank holder gets important. The 50th rank holder doesn't get any less importance. Anyway, first rank is first rank. But first 10 ranks, that's a different story. Again, okay, you are one among the brilliant. Okay, books of account together with, these rank stuff I'm telling again and again, not to irritate you or to make you angry. Don't get irritated or angry. Rather think, get motivated, work towards it. The benefits are there. That's why I'm telling. Okay. Books of account together with relevant vouchers shall be preserved for a period of not less than 8 financial years immediately preceding. So they want you to preserve for 8 financial years. Fantastic. Income Tax Act, I think 6 years reopening, 14 years in case it's international tax. So whatever it is, my suggestion, keep it for 10 years. Though statutorily they have prescribed 8. So in the examination, if they ask you, remember, preceding 8 years, you have to preserve. Before that, you can destroy. How about a company which has been in existence for 4 years? Then all the immediately preceding step. This is basically a logical corollary. Less than 8 years, then all the years. The provisions of Income Tax Act shall also be completed. As earlier, there were 10 years and all was there, 14 years. My suggestion, 10 years. Now, where an investigation has been ordered, central government may direct preservation of books beyond 8 years. Once the investigation is started, the CG may say, do not destroy any of the books. Nothing can be destroyed till we clear it. Because sometimes the meaning for a current transaction may be hidden in a past transaction. I do not know how far I have to go. When was this perpetrated? We have to see. And then only we can come to a conclusion whether any criminal act has been practiced. So we have just finished one section, which is 128. Now, as you already know from our earlier discussions and from the classes that you have already attended, there have been situations where every section or a group of related sections will have a penal class. I already told you to prepare a chart. I hope some of you are doing it, but the chart can be prepared. It will be good. Here, the persons responsible is very interesting. Usually, you will find company and every officer in default. Here, that's more of a machine gun approach. Company and every officer in default. So they start shooting and spraying Here it's rifle shooting. They select the target, managing director, whole-time director, in charge of finance, chief financial officer, any other person of a company charged by the board with duty of complying with the provisions of Old 28. In case these are all not there, MD is responsible. Okay, that's how we have to conclude. If the MD has not entrusted it to one director, So the MD is always responsible along with all of them. Okay? MD cannot say, I was not aware. Recently, in one prosecution case, all the directors want to give a letter to the department saying, we were not engaged in financial management. I said, hey, how can all of you not done? How did this company run? At least 2 of you have signed the checks. No, those fellows should have known, right? They are sheepishly grinning and saying, Srikanth, you have to escape. You cannot escape. To escape is a different route. This is not the way. Nobody will accept what you say. I was not having any awareness about it. Then, hey, see, either you are a fool or you are a fraud. So I am not aware of. See, Satyam, the auditor, says I'm not aware of the fraud. Such a huge collusive fraud is happening. You are Price Waterhouse. You don't know. You could not find it. Shame. Shame. Okay, that is even worse than being a fraud. Or both are equal. Being a collusive fraud is bad. Being a Buddhu fool who didn't even know what was happening. Such a huge fraud has happened. You never knew about it. All. Great. We believe you. Okay. So, fine. 50,000 rupees, 5 lakhs. Punishment by way of imprisonment has been omitted by the Companies Amendment Act. Because after all, this is what we are. See, the people are committing murder and going. Whereas here, this is only punishment by way of imprisonment. I mean, this is only non-maintenance of books of account. Or maybe in some silly non-compliance. Not even non-maintenance. It could be some silly non-compliance. For that, you can't put a person in prison. So they have removed the imprisonment. Only fine 50 to 5 lakhs. Let me see if any questions. Somebody raise the hand. If they can unmute and talk, they can. Whether we have to write facts of the case, provisions of law, conclusion in that order. My humble suggestion, Mr. Sai Kiran, is in that order, if you don't mind. And the facts need not be reproducing the question. Write what you think would, relate to your conclusion. See to it that the way you present the fact should relate to your conclusion. So, my humble suggestion, whatever you feel you do, but if you think this will work, try to do it. Okay. I don't know whether I can unmute you. I don't know. I'm not aware whether I can unmute you. Let us see if I can unmute you. Who wants to be unmuted? 1 second. The host can unmute. Swati. I don't think, am I the host? Let's see. I am unmuting. I'm not able to unmute. Only the host can. I'm a co-host.
Hello? Yes, sir.
Yeah, who's that?
Sir, this is Nisha. Yes, sir.
You are unmuted, yes. I think you can unmute yourself and talk. Go on.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Nisha ji, hi. How are you? Sorry.
Yes, sir, I'm good, sir. Sir, is there any issue, sir?
No issue, madam. Some students want me to unmute. Is it possible?
Okay. Yes, sir. I'll just request with the technical team. Technical team, kindly unmute the students who are raising their hands. Yeah.
Sai Kiran has requested.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Sir, small clarification, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, director is a part of the management. How he has to go and ask for request to somebody else? He is having authority to go and verify on his own. Whether he has to request for it somebody?
Good question, Mr. Sai. But in the real life now, director can only attend a board meeting. Only whole-time directors can come on a daily basis and do. Part-time directors have no right to enter the company and do whatever they want. They have only the right to attend board meetings. Are you able to understand?
Okay,
so
sir.
This question is meant for them especially. Okay. Also, between two whole-time directors, one director may be controlling the finances and accounting. The other director may be excluded from the day-to-day management. In those cases, this section gives him power to demand to have a right to see the accounts. Are you able to understand?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In reality, see, what you're telling is possible, but again, one more point is only whole-time directors can enter the company regularly, whereas part-time directors cannot come and go. So they have this right to ask for the access to the books. Okay, good. Thank
Sir,
you.
one more submission, sir.
Yeah.
That keeping of records in electronic mode, it was discussed, sir, earlier. My opinion is that not only just keeping some PDF files or Word documents, it has to be digitally signed and it has to be saved in the computer of the company. Like that, I'm feeling, sir. Am I correct, sir?
Your opinion, that is the law. It has to be, as you say, the audit trail is there, no? So it should be digitally signed and it should be, what they mean by accounts is the original transaction record itself captured in the ERP. It will be kept in a relational database management system, RDBMS as data. What you are seeing as reports are only the data being presented in different forms. What is being talked about here is the original data itself. Okay. So that should be preserved. There, once the original data is there, we will convert it into various reports. Okay.
Even that reports also, I think, day book, general ledger, everything to be kept with digital signature.
Keep it whatever you want. It is your choice. See, that's your choice, sir. That's totally different choice. Your choice. If you want to keep it, keep it. But the original data itself will be kept with you for 8 years. You can create those reports any number of times you want. I hope I'm able to communicate something.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir. And now you can mute yourself, sir, please. Thank you. But anyway, good question from Sai Kiranji. And requesting Mr. Sai Kiran to mute himself. Thank you. Now, moving on to financial statement. Again, though there are 5 different items included in it, collectively, this collection is called financial statement. What are their balance sheet, P&L, or income and expenditure, as the case may be. Then you have cash flow statement, statement of changes of equity, etc., etc. I'm not going to go too deep into this because this is too fundamental. Being a revision class, only one point, kindly note, the cash flow statement need not be prepared by OPC, small company, dormant company, and a private startup company. Please, not all private companies, only private company which is registered with the ministry as a startup company. Only that company need not maintain cash flow statement. Okay. You must be aware of it because you are all authority in financial reporting, AS3, Ind AS 24, etc., etc. Therefore, for me to teach you this is presumption. I will not attempt to do that. Okay. Sometimes in company law, they might ask you. Therefore, we can. One more point I might want to stress here, in case you are not already aware, is the difference between the words annexed and attached. Can anybody unmute and tell me what is the difference between the word annexed with regard to financial statement? What is the significance of the words annexed and attached? Even chat you can do it, no problem. Even in chat you can do it, no problem. The significance of the words. Okay, let me not waste our time. If others are sending later, we will see it, I'm sure. See, the words attached and annexed have important meanings. See, the balance sheet is the core document. Okay, the P&L is annexed there. The cash flow statement is annexed there. The statement of changes in equity is annexed there. See, this boss app, I am unable to get it. Whatever you are sending, it is not coming to me in the app. So let us continue to use the chat box. Let us continue to use the chat box. Okay. Right. So what do you mean by annexed? I'll give a simple example. Suppose you are taking a paper and you take another paper and you staple it. Now it is annexed. It cannot be removed. It is part and parcel. The paper number 1 and paper number 2 are part and parcel. Now you take one more set of papers which are already stapled or whatever, and you put a clip. I don't know if I have a clip here. Yes, I have a clip here. But this clip, I'm talking about, they call it gem clip. Nowadays, we prefer to use this clip. Whatever it is, I take this clip and I put it. This is attached there, looser, so that whenever I want, I can remove one. By just I can open this and remove one. Attached. Point. The director's report is attached to the financial statement. The auditor's report is attached to the financial statement. The P&L is annexed, cash flow annexed, statement of annexed. In fact, they form part and parcel of the balance sheet. Right. Now comes the important point. The auditor's report extends to the balance sheet and every document annexed thereto. I repeat, the auditor's report. When I give or you will give in future whenever you become a member of my institute. When you give an opinion, your opinion as to true and fair extends to the balance sheet and every document annexed thereto, but not to any document attached. Which means board of directors, if they tell some nonsense bullshit, my report doesn't talk about it. That fellow is giving some nonsense. That is for him and his company's entry and the God. For nothing for me. My document is the audit report. There I will see to it that whatever they are telling is bullshit, I will tell there by qualifying. First, but any other document which is annexed to the auditor's financial statement, balance sheet, I have to cover. Which is why you cannot simply say I'm doing balance sheet audit. Everything you are certifying, including the explanatory notes, you have to be very careful because they are annexed. Okay, this is just a small point. So kindly take it. If you don't know it, please. If you know it, sorry. Now, why I'm being so humble and thing, because many of these, I'm teaching these companies at this, they know everything. What can we teach? I'm becoming like Mullah Nasruddin. When I go to the mosque and ask, everybody says, I know. Then what am I going to teach? Then next day I go, I ask a question. Then some people don't know. Some people know. Then I tell those who know, tell those who don't know. So what is there for a teacher to teach? Like that, sometimes we become frustrated. Not frustrated, slightly depressed. When we see so much brilliance, we become a little depressed. Okay. I think some of you are replying to the older. See, one more suggestion. When you are writing an answer in the exam, please do not say as per so-and-so section. Write what is there in the section and then within bracket write the section number. You cannot instruct the examiner to refer to the section. No. You should write the content of the section. If you know the section number, wow, we'll give you another half a mark. But you can't say as per section 129. No. You may know the section number. Sometimes it might be wrong also. So don't write like that. Write the content in your own words. Simple. Then within bracket at the end of that, if you remember the section number, write it. This is the correct method of writing the theory. That way, if you write, you will also be safe. You are only going to give the section number at the end within brackets. If you don't know, leave it. If you know, write it. That's all. If you write, you'll get little more marks than a man like me who may not remember and not write. Okay. For the purpose of this section, except where the context otherwise requires, any reference to the financial statement shall include any notes annexed to or forming part of such financial statement, giving information required to be given and allowed to be given in the form of such notes under the Act. This is what I said. So the balance sheet and P&L, the balance sheet in the documents annexed should give a true and fair view of the state of affairs of the company. You know all this. I don't want to waste your time. The format of the balance sheet is given in Schedule 3. It should strictly adhere to that format. Schedule 3 has huge notes on how to present each item. You should comply with that. Okay. Financial statements of every financial year shall be laid before the company at every annual general meeting by the board. Later on, when we come to management and administration, you may have to relate to this. In fact, we'll be seeing financial year. What is a financial year? this will become relevant to you again in management administration. This is why when I teach management and administration, AGM, I will again cover financial year there because there is a link between annual general meeting and financial year. Calculation of annual general meeting date and all, we need to understand financial year. So financial year means the period ending on the 31st day of March every year, where a company is incorporated on or after the first day of January of a year. Okay, we'll do one thing. I humbly request, we started at 11. Now the time is something like 12:30. I'm sure some of you would like to have a break. I would also like to take a small break. Can I sort of take a break? Yes. Sir, small break, sir. Ji, small break. By maximum 12:40, maximum 12:40 or 12:35 to 12:40. Welcome back from your well-deserved break. And I'm not able to. One new message. That's it. Okay. So moving forward, financial year means the period ending on the 31st day of March every year. So this is called the uniform financial year. Just to give you a historical background, once upon a time, when I was studying on my final in 1987, a company could have more than one, that is, every company could have its own financial year. So some companies will have December, some companies will have April, July, June, July. So thereafter, they also have to have a thing. Then the Income Tax Act also was allowing them all sorts of nonsense. Then the Income Tax Act put their foot down and said no. Very early on, they said uniform financial year. All accounts should be done on 31st March. So taxation fiscal year got frozen on 31st day of March ending, beginning on 1st April. Then Companies Act followed suit. In old law itself, the old law itself, they bought the concept of uniform financial year and they said the first day of April to the 31st day. So a period ending on the 31st day of March. So if I'm incorporating the company in October, technically my first financial year should end on 31st day of March following year. Be careful. Be careful. Where a company is incorporated on or after the first day of January of a year, financial year is the period ending on 31st day of March of the following year. Okay. So be very, very careful here. You have to be very careful. Suppose I am incorporating in October, no problem. It will be 31st day of the following year, 31st March. Let's take concrete examples. I am incorporating a company on 15th of October 2024. Then no problem. First year is 31st of March 2025. Now, suppose I incorporate a company on 2nd of January 2025. Company is incorporated after the first day of January of that year, 2nd of January. Now, though there is a 31st March immediately coming up now, that will not be the year end. 31st day of March of the following year. That means what? The company incorporated on 2nd January, the year will be ending on 31st day of March 2026. Are you clear? 15th October, no problem. Next year, next March. 31st of March of the following year. Okay. So 1510 will end 24 will end on 31/3/25. No problem. 2/1/24, that's all, 25. 2/1 25 should technically end on 31/3/25. Na? That small portion, they say no. You go all the way to 31/3/26. Just get this idea thought into your mind clearly. In case of a body corporate, which is a holding company or a subsidiary of a company incorporated outside India and is required to follow a different financial year, it has to apply to the CG and they will allow you to have a different period even if that period is not a year. Okay, so can you unmute yourself, Sai Kiran, and talk? If you can, then do it. please send in chat. No, ask your query in chat. Rishabh Gupta is asking, what if you know the section? No problem. But see, in section, if you're going for definitions, the definition is the subsection. So you cannot say section 2. Section 2 will have, in Companies Act, I think section 2 has 97 subsections. Section 2.1 has 97 subsections. So section 2 has 97 subsections. So you'll have to remember that. The subsection, if you can remember, good. Otherwise, to ODR, so long as the answer is correct, okay. Maximum you lose up. If you know and write, you'll get little more ma. That's all. Sai Kiran Gupta has to be unmuted. Somebody, sir, can you unmute Sai Kiranji? Let me see if I can unmute him. No.
Sir, my doubt is this 1/1/2005 to 31/3/2026 you are telling us, sir. Whether this is applicable in all the cases or only here in law only, sir?
This, I'm teaching company law.
No. What my doubt is whether it is relevant or irrelevant, I don't know. What my doubt is whether the same rule applies in advanced accounting also or not, I'm asking, sir.
If you are dealing with company accounts and company law, it will apply, sir.
Okay.
So, but if you are preparing the accounts of a company, then this rule will apply.
So in advanced accounting subject also same rule will apply, na, sir? That is my doubt.
Okay, it will apply. If it is a company, again and again.
Yes, sir.
This rule applies to companies. So if you are preparing the accounts of a company, it has to be on 31st of March.
Where your company is there, 15 months
any
will
problem
come.
where the accounts are getting closed on 30th September or something?
Okay. Wherever any company accounts are coming, this 15 months rule will apply.
Not 15-month rule and all. Don't make rule like that, sir. The rule is very simple.
Sir. Suppose I am example, I'm telling.
It cannot be 15 months. Don't make broad statement like that, Saiji. Don't put there. Section 241.
For example, I'm telling, sir. No. For example, I'm telling, sir.
For example, also you tell like this. The financial year after that, if it is after 31st March, it will end on the 31st day of the following year. That's all. Okay. That is how you have to understand it. Because if it is October now, it will be 31st March next year only. Whereas only those companies which are incorporated before March will have this issue.
That only I'm asking, sir. That only I'm asking.
Sir, again, for the removal of doubt, I'm telling you, from 1/1 to 31/3, if any company is incorporated, that company will be closing its accounts in next year, 31st March only.
Okay,
Understand?
sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Kindly mute yourself, sir. Yeah, I think this discussion with Mr. Sai must have made all our doubts cleared. So with this, we can easily understand this question. Abhiruchi Limited was incorporated on 11th December 2021. When should the company hold its AGM? See, I'm giving 2021 because the slide was created by me in 2021. Therefore, 2020, 21 that time. So if you are very angry with me, I will change it to 24 or 23. That is easy. So when should the company hold its AGM? See, when should the company hold its AGM? This is called first AGM. That's why I'm telling later on when you go for management administration, you have to remember this. That is, first incorporation, first time, it can hold the AGM within 9 months from the date of closing of its financial year. Normally, it is 6 months. So, this is not in this topic. This concept is in management and administration. Okay. There, when you come, remember, now I'm giving this information to you. There, with section number, somebody will teach you. Don't worry. So, the company, in the year of incorporation, it can hold its AGM with respect to its first financial year within 9 months of the close of its financial year. Okay. right? The company, so this in this case, but normally 6 months from the date of closure of the financial year. For subsequent years, it will be 6 months. Okay. So in this case, Abhiruchi was incorporated on 11th December. So first of all, when will the financial year end? December 11th. Na? So it will end on 31st of March 2024. The company's financial year will close on 31st of March 2024. Therefore, the company may hold its first AGM on or before 31st December 2024. Suppose this is a subsequent year, second year, then this 9 months will become 6 months. Now, would your answer be the same? See, this is a typical way of questions in the exam. Would your answer be the same or would your answer be different? Like that, they will ask you. Such questions will be quite common there. Would your answer be the same if you are informed that the company was incorporated on 11th February 2024? Are you able to understand? Now situation changes. Am I correct? 23 December, 24 March. But 24 February cannot end on 31st March, February. They have to go to 31/3/25. Okay. The year ending will be 31st March 25. Am I correct? The year ending will be 31st March 25. Thereafter 9 months. So 31/12/25 will be the required date for holding AGM. Again, you have to be a little careful. Read the question always. Because in the exam, see, I am teaching your topic. Okay. But in the exam, what is being tested is your subject. Therefore, you cannot say, sir, this is a question in management and administration, sir. How they can ask in accounts, sir. Like that, you cannot ask. Anything can be combined with anybody, anything, and we have to write. Okay. So we have to take it. Good. So moving on to the next topic, which is compliance with the accounting standards, etc. So some of the points. So the item contained in the financial account shall be in accordance with the accounting standards. Okay. So almost all the accounting standards are applicable, except that for a government company, accounting standard 17 shall not apply. Okay. Also, if you're, I'm sure you're quite familiar with that. All companies have to comply with accounting standard, but certain companies which fulfill certain criteria have to comply with IND-AS, Indian Accounting Standards, as we call them, which are IFRS clone. So they have to go for IND-AS, whatever. They have to comply with IND-AS. Listed companies, 500 crore and above companies, there's a huge list there. They have to go for IND-AS. That I'm sure many of you, since you're already doing articles with large firms, multinational firms, you're quite familiar with IND-AS and all. Anyway, so compliance with accounting standards. See, the irony of this is up to 1997, 98 till 2000 AD, the Department of Company Affairs, as it was then known, in the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, had no clue about accounting standards. They never had any, they didn't even know. It was the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India which had promulgated the accounting standards based on international, knowledge. And we only told our members, please follow the accounting standard. Our members have to strictly follow. The companies were not bound by it. Once upon a time, 97 is a classic year, I remember, when there was again a boom like what's happening now. Like now we are 2027, you're going to see a extraordinary boom in the stock market. We saw it once in 1997, again in 2007 and so on. The cycles keep on coming. Now that one more cycle, 17 cycle was not so vigorous, but 27 will be another 7 and 97. It will be a huge cycle where it will take you all the way up. At that time, all these Wari engineering, all that fellow will come with the IPO and all that and over subscription. All that will happen in that period only. Okay, when market will be bullish, everybody wants to participate. If they are not able to buy in the market, they want to buy IPO. So people used to come. At that time, we had a lot of companies which went public. So as auditors, we'll be asked to give certificates. One thing, one of the company secretary of one of the companies, he said was, we are going to issue bonus shares out of revaluation reserve. Bonus shares out of revaluation reserve. I said, sir, it's not possible because I don't want to go into the accounting, which I'm sure you're familiar. Revaluation reserve cannot be touched. It is not a reserve at all. It is notional. If at all you're going to do it, you have to transfer it to P&L account by way of depreciation every year till that asset is. If it is land, simply you have to keep it in the balance sheet and keep looking at it. As if it is in the showcase, you have to keep it. Nothing can be done with it. No, Mr. Srikanth, you are not aware of anything. Correct, I am not aware. We will do it. I said, no, sir, Institute guidance note is there. Please have a look. Guidance note was there at that time. It's not to use it. The fellow started smiling at me and said, sir, this guidance note is binding on you, not on my board of directors. Then I said, okay, I will qualify. He said, you do whatever you want. See, this is the arrogance with which directors and even our own members in the service industry, in service, as CFOs were talking. So that the practicing member was at a dilemma. He said, he can't afford not to qualify. Because guidance note is binding on me. I'm a member of the institute. I cannot. So it was a dilemma. Till somewhere, then SEBI itself came out with the guideline. LODR is very clear. They very clearly, ICDR, they very clearly say, look here, if revaluation reserve cannot be touched, the promoter's contribution cannot be taken out of revaluation reserve. So the point I'm making here is, this is the type of nefarious behavior that corporate directors and corporate accounting teams end up doing. Therefore, finally, the ministry, I think that time there was no ministry, the Department of Company Affairs coming under the Ministry of Law and Justice, they amended the Companies Act. And they said, all accounts of companies should comply with the appropriate accounting standard as the case may be. Then, these fellows, now everything that the institute says is binding on you. Of course, now it is no longer the institute. Tangin Chik. It is another body called the NFRA, the National Financial Reporting Authority. In case of non-compliance, then it has to be disclosed, the deviation, the reasons for the deviation by the board. Okay. Similarly, where certain companies are engaged in certain specialized activities, those companies need not follow the Schedule 3 format, or they can follow the Schedule 3 format with such modifications as are prescribed in their own legislation. In fact, just for your general knowledge, I want to show you one thing. Just for your general knowledge. Okay. It is not exam point of view, general knowledge. I just want to show you something. Give me 1 minute. See, this is may not be the latest, but this is what I'm now showing you is the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority. This is the regulatory IRDA rules and regulations on preparation of financial statements. So if in case you become employed in an insurance company and you are in charge of balance sheet section, then you have to go through this regulation. In addition to your Schedule 3 format, the insurance company should also comply with this. Are you able to understand? So just to show you, this is only IRDA ka. This is only IRDA ka guideline. This is only IRDA, the Insurance Regulatory and Authority ka regulations. RBI also has given guidelines, including provisioning norms and all that. Everybody has given how to present the information, etc. So in those cases, for example, there may be another company which is governed by another regulatory body. For example, TRAI, the Telecom Regulatory Authority. The TRAI may come out with a rule that has also to be complied with. So the format given in Schedule 3 need not be strictly followed by these companies. Similarly, all companies which are having a subsidiary or associated enterprises should give a consolidated financial statement, CFS. Okay. The CFS also should be accompanied with the standalone. The standalone and the CFS are to be given together. You cannot give the standalone and then later on CFS. No. At the time of AGM of the holding company, the consolidated financial statement and the standalone statement of the holding company should be given. So holding company auditor has to train 2 documents. holding standalone, or I have to also give the consolidated financial statement, which is based on Ind AS or accounting standard, as the case may be. Okay, so the consolidation should be done in accordance with Schedule 3 and the applicable accounting standards. Right? CJ may provide for consolidation of accounts. I'm sure you are all extremely well, what shall I say, well groomed or well prepared in consolidation of accounts. There was one of my, when I wrote my CA final exam, accountancy, this consolidation of accounts was one of my, shall we say, fearing area of fear, where I used to worry. And I did my best to try to understand it. And I failed miserably. Failed miserably in understanding. I could not understand it. So especially chain holding, cross holding, all sorts of things they did. That torture was too much for me. So I quietly avoided that topic and I studied other topics well. I studied merger, amalgamation well, reconstruction well. Also, everything else I studied well, issue of everything thoroughly studied. Too good. Okay, I used to work out problems from the then Shukla and Grawal book, which was like almost like a pillow, not double pillow. Okay, I used to work out problems. But this consolidation alone never, hit my brain. Just the more of a humor. Some of you, as company chartered accountants, future CA, remember, becoming a member of the institute doesn't mean you don't have to have a sense of humor. You can retain your sense of humor, be very humorous, enjoy humor, and still be a good chartered accountant, highly intelligent chartered accountant, effective chartered accountant. Your effectiveness is not in being serious. Serious is not, nowhere in the code of ethics says accountant should be always serious looking, never smile like that. You can smile, enjoy. When it comes to auditing, catch them and kill them. That is where you should show your effectiveness. Or when it comes to giving solutions to your company, financial solutions, there you show your beauty. Not in being serious, always talking seriously. Mr. Srikanth, according to me, this is what, oh my God, that guy is only 35. I'm 58. I feel like a college student when he's talking. So I'm sometimes surprised how this thing happens. So consolidated financial statements are the combined financial statements of a company, and all of them, we saw that. So what happened, I didn't study. Accounting exam morning. My father is also a chartered accountant. He is sitting in the house portico, drinking coffee, reading newspaper. When he sees me leaving the motorbike, I'm kickstarting with he knows. So today exam, final exam, yes sir, final exam. First paper accounting, yeah, first paper accounting, sir. Have you studied? Yes sir, I've studied. Have you studied everything? I've studied everything. Then, have you studied consolidation of accounts? I said, no sir, I have not studied. Very good, you go. I also did not study. Sorry, meant as a humor. Don't take it seriously. Okay, don't worry. Today I'm quite familiar with accounting standard 21. I'm quite familiar with CFS. When money is involved, I've learned it. when substantial fees are being paid to me, the brain started working and I've started learning. Anyway, this is meant as a humor, joke. Don't take it seriously. If at all you want to take one learning out of it, point is, professional exams, you should give more weightage to key areas. Where you are strong, where you are weak. If it is a key area you have to study, suppose costing, I'm afraid. Standard costing is one of the key area in that. So I have to master it. So I mastered it. I studied thoroughly and I mastered it. But luckily for you now, you don't have to study costing because it is a self-paced module. You don't have to worry about costing. Company law also for final. For intermediate, it is there. Costing is there. Okay, but final, it is self-paced. You can study whenever you want and you can give the exam whenever you want. But only if you clear, you will become member. Okay, but it will be multiple choice. Pretty easy. You can answer it clear. So, CFS are the comment, we saw that. And company having one or more subsidiaries. See, the story about my personal life is told more to create rapport with you and with a view to bringing a little humor. So kindly don't become serious chartered accountants and take me. Swati has put a symbol that gives me some hope for the CAs yet. That the next generation of chartered accountants will be human beings, will have humor, and will be able to enjoy jokes and take them with a pinch of salt without taking it seriously. So, moving on. The statement containing the salient features of financial statement of subsidiary, etc. Okay, it should be in AOC 1. So, summarized statement. India, see, the idea of all this is the shareholder should get information about the company's financial position. Friends, I was the secretary of the Tamil Nadu Investor Association for 3 years. I have begged the investors and shareholders to read the balance sheet. They will not. They will reject the balance sheet. They will say, Mr. Srikanth, market is there. The market is king. Don't think financial statements are having any meaning. And if they are in the mood for it, they will say, you chartered accountants are crooks. You cook up some accounts and give us. Why we should read it? Beautiful. That is what. You should never read the financial statement. Go to the market. Believe what the brokers are saying. Buy the share. Whereas I will tell them, sir, please go through 5 years past balance sheet, sir. See what is the profitability. See the debt to equity ratio. Mr. Srikanth, you are a fool. Don't talk like that. All financial statement are waste. For these people, we are struggling hard every year. Battalions of accountants in the company and in the audit firm are working like mad to create input for these people. And they don't even touch it. They don't even see it. The only people who use it are the banks. The banks use it for evaluation. The, income tax department to an extent. GST to a lesser extent. Only the government departments use the balance sheet. That too only for hitting the company, not for any other important thing. Shareholders rarely read the balance sheet. Rarely. I'm not saying all. Saying 95% of them do not even know about the existence. If at all you tell them financial statement, immediately they will say, all chartered accountants are crooks. How do you prove that? Simple. Satyam was audited by a crook. No, yes. So all of you are crooks. What a beautiful syllogistic logic that one company auditor signed a wrong balance sheet. All auditors across India, across the world are crooks. I mean, in syllogism, in logic, it doesn't necessarily follow. It's called the fallacy of the undistributed middle. Fallacy of the undistributed middle. That is, Satyam auditor was a crook. All auditors are crooks. Okay, Satyam auditor was a crook. He is a member of the Consolidated. Therefore, all members of ICAI are crooks. This is a classic example of undistributed middle syllogistic fallacy. I used to explain this to them also. Anyway, more about Satyam as we go into the topic. When you come to auditing, you will see how much Satyam has impacted on the way we function, the way we are perceived as chartered accountants, auditors of companies, the way the law wants to control us at every level and chain me, like Sansan. In that chain, I have to work. Within that chaining, I have to work. And I have to satisfy myself, ensure that the shareholder is not cheated. I have to do it. Tens of thousands of our members are doing it. On an annual basis, we sign balance sheets. Whatever insults are being thrown on us, right from the top head of this country to the income tax officer, to everybody insults me. Still, I smile, I wipe, and I go on with my life, doing the duty of a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Okay, of ensuring that the accounts reveal a true and fair view. That we continue to do. Though a thankless job, we do it. Okay. So provisions applicable to preparation, adoption, and audit of the financial statements of a holding company, etc., shall apply to the consolidated financials. Okay. Now, this may be a little vague. Kindly bear with me and quickly help you to understand it. Huh? See, one more thing, it is like putting injection. When the doctor is putting injection, don't shake. Be careful. This particular point, listen carefully, you will understand. But if you keep gone, the injection will go in the wrong way, anything can happen. Be careful. So this is a little confusing. When consolidated financial statements need not be prepared. Conditions for exemption from preparation of CFS. Okay. First of all, members, including those not otherwise entitled to vote do not object to the company not presenting CFS. Please remember, the CFS is presented to the members of the holding company who are entitled to know how the consolidated financial position is. They are entitled. Because my money has gone there, Baba. See, I am the shareholder of the holding company. You make n number of subsidiaries. I am the owner of those subsidiaries also through you, through the holding company ka stake, so that holding company's investment value should be reflected in the holding company ka book with the assets, etc. coming here, so that I should know for sure how much you invested in that company, what that investment is worth today, so that if you have written off as loss, why did you go and invest in that subsidiary wherein when that subsidiary is included here, we are losing. Our investment was 4 crore. Today, net that asset liability, etc. of that subsidiary balance sheet figure, if it comes here, it is not even worth 4 crores. It is less than that. And that too, minority interest is gone. Our interest is hardly worth 4 crores. It is maybe worth 2.5 crores. That balance 1.5 crores is lost. Why? So these are the issues that we have to raise at the meeting of the holding company. But if the holding company members, including those not otherwise entitled to vote, which could be your preference shareholders, your differential voting right fellows, none of them should object to the company not presenting CFS. Okay. Not only the members who are entitled to vote. There may be a differential voting right shareholder. No voting right, only dividend. Why not? But not a preference shareholder. Okay. So equity would be differential voting right. You might all have seen that. When you did share capital and debentures, I'm sure you would have studied shares with differential voting rights. Okay. Do not object to the company not presenting. Now, it is a company whose securities are not listed or in the process of listing on any stock exchange. So, if this is to be done, A Limited, first of all, should ensure that there is no objection from its members. Secondly, it should ensure that it is a company which is not listed, either listed or in the process of being listed. Okay. In other words, an unlisted company which is not applied for listing. Obviously, this will be only for public. Okay. Private will be anyway not listed. It cannot be listed. It is ultimate or any intermediate holding company files consolidated financial statements with the registrar which are in compliance with applicable accounting standards. It's ultimate or any intermediate holding company files consolidated financial statements with the registrar. So let us look at B. Let us look at B here. B is, we should look only at B. Sorry, B. In this picture here, in this, we have 3 companies, A Limited, B Limited, C Limited. C Limited is ultimate subsidiary. A Limited is the ultimate holding company. Now B, should B file its consolidated financial statement with C or not? That is the question. That is the question. Now, first condition, B is all the shareholders, all the members of B should agree. They have no objection. Second, B should not be listed. Agreed. Finally, B's ultimate holding company. A is the ultimate holding company of B. As of now, that holding company should file. Suppose there is one more guy above this fellow. Now, X is the ultimate holding company. A is one subsidiary B. But immediately you will rush to catch my throat. Why? Because you learnt in incorporation, rather preliminary, that there cannot be more than 2 levels of subsidiaries. So immediately you will catch my throat. But there are exemptions to that. So let's not waste your time with all that. So let me remove this fellow. Okay. Anyway, so B, so long as A is filing consolidated financial statements. Sorry. So long as A is filing financial CFS, then B need not. So no member of B is objecting. B is not a listed company, and A which is the immediate holding company, ultimate holding company is filing. Okay. Now, so this is, if you have any doubts here, sometimes students find it a little challenging. So if you have any doubts, you can ask at this stage. Mutatis mutandis means with such changes as may be applicable. We tell no as the case may be, male or female as the case may be. That is, when certain statements are made for a male, we can make it applicable to female also with suitable changes. Keeping in mind the sex, when you make the comment, you have to make it. So with such changes as may be. Yes, all three conditions are to be satisfied. All three, good question. All three conditions have to be satisfied. Okay. These three conditions are to be satisfied. Good question. Okay. So in case you have understood, I'll be more than happy to move on with my life in terms of many times, people disturb us and make us feel bad. We have two choices: to keep frustrated and thinking about it and circling the same place, or move on. Moving on is always a good idea. Move on. Keep moving. Keep walking. Johnny Walker, the famous Scotch company, has a man with a top hat and a coat with a stick walking. It's a classic, of course. Be teetotaler or not, I love that Johnny Walker concept. Keep walking. Keep moving. Do something. Don't stagnate. So, the central government may suo motu, or on application by any company or class of company, exempt any. Suo motu means on its own motion. These are all, unfortunately, Latin terms. On its own motion. These are all Latin terms. Latin was the language spoken by the Romans. How the Romans came to influence legal language is a very funny story, where the Rome conquered Britain. And the Roman Catholic Church, till very recently, was using Latin as the official language of the church. Till very recently. Even now, if you go into the Vatican, you will find more Latin is preferred over any other language, even Italian. Though they are similar. Latin and Italian are similar, but Latin. So see, for information, Britain, as we know from the colonial days, was not what it was. Before all this, before the early days, they were savages. They were country bumpkins, brutes, but they were conquered by Rome, and Rome civilized them, made roads. Just like we were colonized by the British and made better, the Romans conquered the Britons and made them better. And the British people whom we see were descendants of the original Saxons and the Romans and the Normans who came, and then they created. Even then, the original legal language was Roman Latin. So Rome followed Latin. So law continued to be written in Latin and practiced in Latin, which is why when your Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi went to England, man had to study Latin. And because that was the legal language, you spoke in Latin in court. Okay. So though today the Latin as a language has now lost its importance, still many terms are taken from Latin words. Again, why can't I say on its own motion? I can, but sometimes it's easier to use a Latin term. Don't use it out of context, but use it. Again, when you use Latin terms, you demonstrate erudition. You demonstrate a certain degree of higher education. So you show that you are a highly educated person. So if you don't want to be seen as erudite, then use normal language, no problem. So, especially people who use Latin, people who use like Shashi Tharoor and all, for me was wrong, complicated words. In fact, once upon a time, I used to use very, very long and complicated words. Then many people have told, Srikanth, when you are talking to intellectual people, you speak like that. When you are addressing students, when you are addressing, Rotary meeting and all, please try to tone down and speak in a language that we can understand. That is why I'm using very simple language, Hasan English, however much I can, I'm trying to use Hasan English. so that people can understand what I am saying. Okay. Now, so motu is on its own motion or on an application made by any company can exempt any company. Okay. Such exemption should be etc. etc. Again, 129 penal clause. There should be every section there will be a penalty. Okay, here it is MD, full-time director, CFO, the same. Do you notice one thing? It is almost the same, except that in the absence of above, all directors. 129, in 128 you didn't find this. In 129, all directors. Here imprisonment is included, not taken. Net, it is continuing there. Or fine. Okay. See, 129A has been included for already for listed companies. There is a quarterly review, quarterly audit, and quarterly presentation. Limited review and all that. But now they want to bring it to unlisted companies also. As of now, this was introduced in 2021 effective, but they have not prescribed anything. As of now, they have not prescribed periodical financial results. As of now. Okay. Right. So the idea is even unlisted companies will have to complete audit or limited review of such periodical financial results and file a copy with the registrar within 30 days. I mean, as a practicing chartered accountant, I love this because my unlisted public companies now, I have one more reason to go to them and say, hey, we've got to do this quarterly thing, man. Oh, shit. Why? Because Companies Act prescribed, yeah. Oh, better what I will do, I will not go and tell them. I will ask the company secretary who is advising them. That gentleman or lady, I will tell you, go and tell. So they will go and tell, sir, Companies Act has been amended, sir, because of that, this, then, oh shit, what to do now? Then they will call me, what, Shrikant, these guys telling some, yes, sir, this Companies Act, you know, this MCA fellows, something or the other nonsense they have to keep doing. What to do now? You pay me another 50,000, sir, I will do it. More money, enjoy. Okay. Thanks to the MCA, we are getting more money. And for the corporate CFO and company, more trouble, more work, more waste of time. For unlisted company. For a listed company, I agree. Because public money is involved. For unlisted company, see, fellow may be very small also. So they see, MCA likes to do things like this. If they don't, for 3 months, if they sit quiet, I'll be worried. Like a naughty child is doing nothing. We are worried. Hey, something this fellow is planning. What he is going to do, we don't know. So for 6 months, that fellow is silent. I'm worried. At least let him come out with some nonsense. We know that he is finished. And that whatever nuisance has happened has happened. It is only when they are silent that we are really worried. Income tax department, once in a year, they get a chance to become naughty, which is the finance bill. All the naughtiness they exhaust in 1 year. 1 February month, they'll exhaust it. After that, the whole year we can work out with that. And these guys can come in anytime and kill us. So now, coming to the next one. So we are making good time. I'll tell you why. Because let me see. Oh, 135 slides. We got 135 slides. We'll have to go fast. Next class, I'll go a little faster. Altar Limited has on its board 4 directors. Okay, sorry, I should have taught this. So the financial statement, including CFS, if any, shall be approved by the board of directors before they are signed on behalf of the board. So the chairperson were authorized by the board are 2 directors, out of which 1 shall be managing director. So chairperson were authorized by the board alone can sign. In case that is not so authorized, then 2 directors, out of which 1 shall be MD. The CEO should sign, CFO should sign, company secretary. In case there is an MD, the MD should sign 2. Okay. If all are signing, great, but at least 2 should sign. In case of OPC, it's enough if only 1 director signs, obviously. There may be only 1 director. Altar Limited has 4 directors, W, X, Y, and Z. It has Mr. D, managing director. The company also has a full-time company secretary, Mr. Weiss. Wow, what a name. On its roles. Sometimes, people ask me, what is the meaning of otherwise? I tell them, sir, you are wise. I am otherwise. That's all. So on its roles, the financial statements of the company for the year ended 31st March 2022 were authenticated by two of the directors, X and Y. Is this valid? No. Because MD has to sign. Okay. Also, CF, the company secretary, Mr. Weiss, has to sign. We only wish he has used his wisdom to advise the company correctly. With being such a wise person, he should have told them MD has to sign. He also have to sign like that. What would be your answer in case the company is a OPC, has only one director? Agreed, no problem. See, boss, this question, all you need to do is write this chart, reproduce it. Don't reproduce, write it on your thing. The financial statement shall be approved by the following persons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then, in the instant case, the MD has not signed. No. In case of OPC, blah, that's all. Then write OPC ka point. Answer, therefore it is valid. Some straight away 3 marks. Board of Directors of Vishwakarma Electronics Limited consists of Ghanshyam, Haider, Indersen. Indersen is an MD. The company has also employed a full-time secretary. The profit and loss account and balance sheet were signed by Ghanshyam and Haider. See whether authentication of financial statement is. See, these are all questions asked in the exam, not put up by me. They are actual questions from the exam. Okay. So same answer like here. Okay. Now we have come to a logical conclusion here. I'm not going to talk about board's report. Kumar, in the next session, we will quickly go through board's report, and NFRA I'm going to skip. CFI, depending on timing, the CSR 100% will do thoroughly, because there are going to be questions for you. So that, I think in the next class on 27, which is on Sunday, I think, inshallah, we will finish our topic. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, how to remember, study, do something, read again and again. See, how to remember, how can I tell you? Read again. Everybody has their own method of remembering. Enjoy, you will remember. Read with concentration, you will remember. I mean, if I know the method, I will sell it here, I'll patent it here. If I know a technique for remembering, there are a lot of Gurujis who will teach you. There are a lot of these quacks who will tell you how I can teach you how to remember. But the reality of it is short-term memory comes with repetition. That's all. Our psychological research has consistently shown that anything that you repeat, you will remember. So short-term memory is always with repetition. Okay. And writing. So I have found that when I write, I remember. So, but all these are very boring things. No, you feel irritated. I'm asking Srikant how to remember. He is not giving me some easy method of remembering. If I know, I will not tell you, boss. I will patent it and sell it. So, sorry, I'm being a little thing here, but see, these are all not a question to be asked. You do it. There are so many methods. Okay. But first method is reading again and again, at least 2 times with concentration. Writing once. Chances are you'll remember. This is an example for intermediate holding is B. In this example, B is an intermediate. B is the intermediate holding company. C is the ultimate subsidiary. B is an intermediate holding company. See, because in India we cannot have more than 2 layers, I cannot give you example of an intermediary holding company filing. Because if A is filing, then B need not file. If B is filing, then C need not file consolidated. But for C, there is no subsidiary. So C need not anyway file consolidated. So what I mean is this is the ultimate holding company and this is the intermediate holding company. B is the example of a intermediate holding company for C. Okay. Good. Extremely happy to interact with all of you. I'm looking forward to meeting you on 27th. If you have any queries, you can keep it. Next time also you can ask me. If you're okay, we will call it a day. Bye. Thank you. Sir, class over, sir.